In this video we're going to have a look at our mindset and the two types of mindsets we might have going into any task. First of all, we're going to look at growth mindset. The idea of growth mindset was brought up by Dr. Carol Dweck in her book Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. She said there's two main types of mindset that we can bring to any sort of endeavor, whether it's our study or our jobs or anything we set our mind to. What kind of mindset do you have? This video will explore. A growth mindset or a fixed mindset? We're going to explore each of them. A fixed mindset, first of all, overall says that study, for example, is for looking smart to others. You might say to yourself, I really hope I will do well in the test, but take no real steps to ensure any success of our own. A fixed mindset has challenges, and those challenges are faced with an attitude that says the challenges are to be avoided if possible. And that person might say, I just hope the test is easy. A fixed mindset, when it comes to obstacles, might say, if things get hard, I'll just give up, really. And I can always say that I didn't study for the test to explain a poor result. A fixed mindset when it comes to effort. Too much study is not worth my time. I have better things to do. A fixed mindset in terms of criticism. When they get criticism, such as feedback on a test, they'll tend to ignore it, and even though that feedback might be useful for their future. Some people take great pride in saying, I put my test paper in the bin. I'm a bit sad when I hear students say that, because I know they're not learning from their mistakes, and they don't have that attitude that says I'll try and do better next time. In a fixed mindset, when they see success of others, they feel threatened or inferior. They can't help comparing themselves to other people, even though they might not have decided to put anywhere near the effort that the other person did. And they might make statements such as he or she might be just good at maths or good at anything. They're naturally talented, but they don't necessarily acknowledge all the hard work that the other person might have put in. So a fixed mindset, the results that you get from that sort of attitude, the learning plateaus early on, because when things get hard, it's hard for that person with a fixed mindset to continue to apply effort, and the student achieves less. So their results come from a deterministic view of the world. The world kind of decides what happens to me. If I get a bad mark in maths, it's because the world kind of decided they wanted to have a challenging test paper that particular time. And it doesn't seem to include the idea that our results are up to us and how much work we're willing to put in. And the results might lead to a statement that says, I wish things were different, but I'm just no good at this. And the key bit is that sentence can finish with, I wish things were different, but I'm just no good at this, and I never will be. So that's the fixed mindset. Now let's have a look at the growth mindset and the contrast there. Overall, a growth mindset might have an attitude that study is for learning. This is good for my future self, even though it might be painful at the time to go through lots of study, preparing for a task or a test. The person with a growth mindset knows it's good for them in the long run. Growth mindset, when they meet challenges, challenges are to be embraced. I study so that I can be ready for anything. And as far as challenges go, that's the key for the difference between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Fixed mindset resents them, and a growth mindset person tends to embrace them because they know that's where the key learning might come from. When a person with the growth mindset meets obstacles, they might say that they're going to keep going in the face of obstacles, whatever it takes, that sort of attitude. And they realize that a lot of things are a long-term project, and they'll just keep plowing through. Now, as far as obstacles and a growth mindset, I'm going to refer now to a book by Seth Godin called The Dip, and he describes this sort of shape to any of our endeavors. The dip, when we start a study or start a big assignment or start a new job, anything like that, it has these typical sort of phenomenons. The first bit, we can make a lot of progress early on. There's a lot of reward in a short space of time. When you start learning something, you make some great progress in the first parts of your learning. You make some great improvements. And then inevitably, after a while, the reward versus effort is reduced. You put in lots of reward, but you don't get put in lots of effort, but you don't necessarily get the rewards out of it in the same way as when you first started. And this is known as the dip. So anything we try seems great at first, and we go great, and then things get harder and harder, and then we have a decision to make. If you push through the dip and keep applying effort, it's likely to be highly rewarding. So every new project or job or hobby or assignment starts out exciting and quite fun, then it gets harder and less fun until it hits a low point, really hard and not much fun at all it becomes. And then if you find yourself asking if the goal's even worth the hassle, you feel like just giving up. Not that we have much choice with our studies. Maybe you're in a dip. It might be just a temporary setback that will get better if you keep pushing. And according to the author of the book The Dip, and the first one to coin the phrase the dip, according to him, what really sets successful people apart from everyone else is the ability to stay focused and motivated when it really counts. So back to the growth mindset. The growth mindset with effort, they see effort as the path to mastery, something that's worth the effort. And they say to themselves, I'm a work in progress, I'm going to apply lots of effort and see where it takes me. Person with a growth mindset, when it comes to criticism, they can say to themselves, I can learn from this criticism, even though they might not enjoy receiving that criticism. It could be constructive criticism, and they might say, thank you, I appreciate the feedback, that's good information for me for the future. The growth mindset, when they see the success of others, they can see it in a different way to those with a fixed mindset. They might find inspiration in the success of others. They might say to themselves, well, if that person can do it, I can do it too. So it shows the person with the growth mindset, when they see the success of others, they say, well, this is doable. If they can do it, so can I. And their results are likely to be including reaching ever higher levels of achievement. A couple of quotes now to illustrate growth mindset. Abraham Lincoln said, the most reliable way to predict our own future is to create it. We have a quote from William Shakespeare, it's not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. One from Henry Ford which gets a bit deep. He said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you are right. That's sort of illustrating that the outcomes to any particular event or project that we throw ourselves into is really down to the success of our thinking. If we got a half a mind to think, well, yeah, I can do this, then you'll probably be right. Now here's a little poem to end with here, just to sum up the whole growth mindset. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you'd like to win but think you can't, it's almost certain you won't. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the one who thinks he can. That's from a guy called Napoleon Hill. Sums it up really. What kind of mindset do you have? A growth mindset or a fixed mindset? I'd encourage you to think some more about what mindset you bring to each task. All the best with whatever you're trying, whether it's study or a new job or a new interest, a new hobby. I hope you apply a growth mindset and get lots of success from it. Thanks so much for listening.